your sight, O Lord, our strength and Redeemer. Amen. Seated. I'll admit, I take a little personal offense at this gospel. Woe to you lawyers, you do all these bad things. It's interesting, I was thinking about this earlier, just when I set these out and did a quick read over about both are dealing with judgment. And we hear this rephrase, and we've, it's become a common parlance, though it's usually misquoted or out of context. Judge not, lest ye be judged. And yet, in other parts of the gospel, Jesus is like, when you have a problem with somebody, go and talk to them. And then if they don't listen, then take two people. And gives very strict instructions on how to judge people. So which is it? Are we supposed to judge? Are we not supposed to judge? I think there's two things. One is that this kind of judgment is welcomed by the people. We should be asking for judgment. Hey, if you see me doing anything wrong, let me know. It's instructional. But the other piece is, I think, kind of wrapped up in what Jesus actually says to the lawyers. It's not what the lawyers are doing that is the problem. It's not what the Pharisees are doing that is the problem. It's not even what Paul's audience is doing that's the problem. It's what they're not doing. So, how many times have we heard complaining without offering a solution is just, or what is it? Pointing out faults without offering a solution, or pointing out problems without offering a solution is just complaining. That's what Jesus is talking about here. If I point out faults and don't offer to help you, and don't try to help you fix the problem, then that is the kind of judgment that is being decried. It's, look at those people over there. They're too stupid, too lazy, too uneducated, too whatever to do the right thing, without going over and saying, hey, you should do this, or what you're doing is a problem. It's a little bit of the emperor's clothes. If you see someone naked, go over and help them be not naked. If you see someone hungry, go over and help them be not hungry. If you see someone sinning, go over and help them not to sin. And that's what Jesus is saying to the lawyers. Woe to you also, lawyers, for you load people with burdens hard to bear. Okay, the law does that, and they're just kind of following along. It's a little bit different structure than what we have today. And you yourselves do not lift a finger to ease them. So you're giving them problems and not helping them find solutions. Woe to you Pharisees, you tithe the mint and the rue and the herbs of all kinds. So you're doing the things you're supposed to do, but you have not practiced the love of God, you neglect justice. It's these you ought to practice without neglecting the others. It's not that what you're doing is wrong, you're just not doing enough. You're forgetting the more important part. It would be like, if you wanted to make cookies for our cookie walk. And you mix the batter and then don't bake them. What you did was right, but you didn't do everything. So when we judge people, when we see people doing something that we think is wrong, and we just mutter under our breath or shake our head or whisper to our neighbor or post something online about it without going over them and saying, I think you're doing something that's not right, and here's why I think that, and maybe I can help you not do that or find a way to correct that. That's the judgment. We need to take that next step. This is the call of the gospel. This is the clothe the naked, feed the hungry, bind up the wounds of the afflicted. Because most of the things that we're probably judging are being done because people are hungry, naked, or hurt. That's what I put on the sign this week. See, I'm not going to say what it is, so people have to come by and see it. But that's the idea, is that we're here not to say how good we are, but to say, here's how to get good. Here's where you can bring the bad and the broken and the sin and all the things that we judge, bring them here and be made whole, be made better, be made healed. And that's why that first piece of judgment that I talked about, welcoming them, asking for those corrections. That's what we should be doing. So when we lie to our parents and we do these things, we should welcome being called out and say, you shouldn't do that. You should just tell the truth and deal with the consequences, because they're not that bad. And that sounds like trivial, but it's true. Because usually the things we do that are wrong are to avoid something that we fear. Because of all the hungry, nakedness, sinfulness, fear is probably the largest motivator for all of those. We're afraid to act. We're afraid of what will happen if we do act. We're afraid of what will happen if we don't act and we become paralyzed by it. So if we can help each other overcome the fear of action and say, look, it's not that bad. Or, yes, it is that bad, but I'm here with you. That's how we can judge, but also help build up and come alongside and partner with the folks who we see do wrong. We should be with them. We should lift a finger to ease the burdens that we see. To God be all the glory, now and forever.
Amen.